My name is Tiara Cooper, and I'm just honored to be sharing space with each and every one of you on today. Any of you all remember the first time you had that professional photo shoot? Can you remember the emotions that ran through your body, how you felt before you took that fabulous photo? You know what I'm talking about. Whether it was for the big career or the collective campus photo, or perhaps even the badge picture, hashtag workflow. You know what I'm talking about. Can you recall how it made you feel knowing that you were taking steps on the right path? I too remember my first photo shoot, but it wasn't a photo that I was proud of. It wasn't a photo shoot, and it wasn't a photo that I'd like to be remembered by. See, I found myself taking a photo in the middle of a county jail because I had been arrested and charged and later on convicted for a state jail felony, nonviolent. I attempted to spend resources that I technically didn't have. And that was my mugshot moment. I soon began to feel emotions of guilt, shame, condemnation. Because see, I was raised by both my parents, and they sacrificed, and they instilled in both myself and my siblings principles and values to work hard, to study, and to live a better life. So I didn't expect or anticipate I would end up having a mugshot moment to begin with. See, I grew up in South Dallas, and this is where the MLK Boulevard is located. And if you know anything about MLK Boulevard, you know what I'm saying. It's a predominantly black neighborhood where we are underfunded, under-resourced, and at the time it was a really vulnerable community. But yet the people had a sense of resiliency about them. And we not only took care of each other, but we kept each other safe. I not only grew up in this community, but I was born in this community quite literally. I was born on the floor, right off of Grand Avenue, and I was incubated by those people, even as an infant. South Dallas was my home. But I would say that as I got older, I began to get a little bit more rebellious. I realized that I was beginning to perpetuate some of the disparities that I lived in. And it was then where I began to face several challenges. I lost my mom at the age of 16 to a long-standing battle of HIV/AIDS. I was a young teen mom at the age of 19, and I brought a daughter into the world who suffered from heart failure. And honestly, I was 19. I didn't know how to take care of my daughter. She had a Mickey button and all these wires and tubes everywhere. It was complicated. On top of that, I was still trying to learn how to survive as a young adult. It was then where those challenges began to really suffocate my life. So I wound up in the county system, but it was then where I not only expected, but I accepted the consequences for my actions. I signed for 2 years, and it was inside the jail and prison system where I really wrapped myself around women who shared similar experiences, but also made really bad decisions. But was it really bad decisions that they made? Perhaps it was the living conditions. Perhaps it was the many different things that we face and have to miraculously find solutions to. I became family with those women, and we took care of each other. And I mean, it looks like if you had a honey bun for me to eat, I'll braid your hair. We took care of each other. We prayed for one another. We broke bread with one another. We struggled together. And it was inside the most heinous system that I began to create plans. And it was there where I also realized I was an organizer because, baby, I created one of the most brilliant plans I could ever imagine. But it was when I got out of that system that I realized I could have the most brilliant plan that I wanted. But there was an invisible wall that was present that oftentimes people do not know or even realize. See, what they don't tell you about paying your debt to society is that there's an invisible interest. And that sometimes shows up as rejection. It shows up as not having a livable wage. It shows up as being marginalized. It shows up in so many different ways. So after so many moments of rejection, I finally landed an opportunity to organize, and I began to organize around issues that plagued my community in Black and brown communities nationally, statewide, and locally. I took the work really serious because of my own personal experiences. This is my mugshot moment. But this conversation or this discussion isn't just for people who have been incarcerated. It isn't exclusive to us who may have a number alongside our names. We all have a mugshot moment. So I want you to take a moment and truly think about a time where potentially you enacted harm. Potentially you feel guilt. Potentially you might even be shameful about some things. What is it that you believe needs to happen? Who are some of the key actors? What does the redemptive path look like? I really want you all to sit with that for just a second. Not all harms are criminalized. Not all harms are criminalized. We as a people must truly decide if people are inherently deserving of dignity or if they're disposable. We must choose to work collectively. That means all of us, to create, reimagine, and co-strategize and co-struggle to prioritize not only safety, but also create room for transformation. Some of our most human experiences require consequences, and they require accountability. But do they require permanent punishments and an erasure from our society? We currently live in a world where a snapshot of who you were, a premature moment in your life, can determine, can decide, and can dictate who you are. What I'm offering is an invitation and how we redefine how we right our wrongs as a people. I'm not coming with answers, but mostly curiosities and questions, because we cannot cancel us. We cannot erase us. We cannot dispose of us. And though I was in a physical prison, some of you might be in a prison of your own. I am not my mugshot, and neither are you. We have nothing to lose but our chains, and collectively, liberation is ours.